Who do you think you are? That's a phrase that has been the opening moniker for the About page for this site for quite some time, since the beginning of time. And it's been a phrase that many of you have reached out to me via social media or emails and in person if you've seen me in passing. And you've hugged me even at the thought of who do you think you are, and having to discover who you are and who you are being challenged by people in your life, whether that's personally or professionally. And I wanted to do a Who Do You Think You Are Part 2, because recently I received a DM. For those of you that don't speak social media, that's a direct message via Instagram from a woman who I knew through professional environments. I could remember her face. I couldn't remember where I knew her from. I just remembered she always had really beautiful skin and a great lip. That makes sense. And then slowly it came back to me, of course, how I knew her. But she reached out to me and asked me to call her. And she said that because of the Who Do You Think You Are section and my being so open and honest about an unhealthy previous relationship, that she wanted to speak to me because she found herself in the same situation. Not only did she find herself in the same situation, she had a friend who she believed was dating my former situation, and they both somehow put together that they were both in some jacked up situations. At first I was very skeptical. Seems a little shaky-bakey. The person I speak about, I haven't been in a relationship with in years, like 3 years. I haven't seen in about 2. And at this point in which I'm making this video, I have not lived in New York for the last, say, 7 months, 8 months or so. So I couldn't tell you where he lives. I couldn't tell you what he does for a living. I couldn't even tell you what he looks like. If you were to rummage through my life right now, say I close my eyes at this very moment and you were to rummage through my life looking through photo albums, love letters, emails, there's no trace of this person in my life whatsoever. And that's for a reason. So to see this person's name come up in a conversation, it gave me pause. It made me nervous. It sped my heart up, and it seemed like gossip. It seemed like something that I didn't want any part of. But at the same time, the young lady who reached out to me, I felt was a cry for help. She wasn't dating him. Her friend was. She had her own shit she was dealing with. And she needed me to help her with her shit. She wanted resources. She wanted to know, how did I get out of the situation? Who did I contact? Who did I call? So I picked up the phone. I called her, and she sounded really choked up and emotional. And she was hustling and bustling about her day. She said, "Oh my God, Dana, I didn't even realize I still had your phone number. Because as soon as you called, your name popped up." And she began to tell me about her relationship, and it was very unhealthy. And listening to her speak and talk about the things that she was going through really brought me back to a place of a few years ago, where you want to be hopeful and optimistic that you can help this particular person, and you fall in love with the possibility and not the reality of what's happening in your life. And then you beat yourself up as to how you got here. You're a smart girl, you're a pretty girl, you're all of these things, and how the hell did you get here? And I'm listening to her, and one, I don't really know what to say because this is a total stranger to me. So I don't necessarily know her triggers or her emotions or her passion points. And two, I just wanted to hug her, but I'm 3,000 miles away. And 3 was the reality of the situation, and that is, until you are ready to make change in your life, until you are ready to leave that job, leave that man, leave that environment, there's nothing that I can say or do to make you act. We can have a conversation, we can be on the same page, but until in your spirit you decide this is the final straw, there's really nothing I can say. On the Who Do You Think You Are page, as I call it now, I talk about sitting in Union Square and sitting in Union Square and having this man berate me and ask me, who do you think you are? And in that moment, for whatever reason, on that beautiful day with everyone around in the market, was the moment I gained clarity. It was the moment I said enough. So I asked her to find her moment and to not allow the experience to break her in the process of finding her moment, and tried to encourage her to find her moment sooner than later. If he has a key to your apartment, change the locks. If he knows your morning commute, change it up. Block him or her, for those of you who have different partners, if you will, or whomever you may or may not love. Block them on social media, block them via text. And she shared with me that she had blocked him on every single platform except cell phone, because just in case he called or just in case he texted. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, she's not ready, but she's hurting. And I felt the need to listen. And then we find connection through joy and pain and experiences. And she shared with me that one day, while talking to a friend of hers about her crazy situation, the other friend starts talking about her situation, which happens to be with my crazy ex. And I didn't want to dive into it. I didn't want to get into it because I felt like that was going to open the door to something that I worked too hard to close. And she shared with me all the things he says about me and how horrible of a person I am and how mean I am and how malicious I am. And there was a time when I would have felt the need to lash out and defend my character and defend, I'm not that person and this is not true and he did this, and try to defend myself and my own honor and my own integrity. But in that moment, I giggled and I had to apologize. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I take pleasure in this moment right now because it doesn't hurt anymore. There was a time that brief conversation could have sent me into a tailspin of emotions, fucked up my entire day. And it just didn't bother me anymore. It didn't hurt anymore. It was quite strange and quite liberating. And all I could say was give her the same advice. Change your routine, change your locks. If you have to question and all you have is questions about someone's whereabouts and someone's intentions, stop fucking questioning and change the conversation. And by changing the conversation, that's leaving the conversation. We're too old to keep questioning and not have any answers. We're too old to have a gut and intuition and not listen to it. That's what it is there for. Who do you think you are? You are the person who, in those tough, shitty, dark moments, that rises up and says, I am love, I am health, I am happiness, I deserve better. I am a person that deserves better. And by better, I mean to be respected and loved and accepted and embraced. That's who you are. And if you think you are that person, and if you think you're deserving of that, then you should do nothing short of ask for that and demand that in your life, especially with somebody who wants to lay next to you. I'll keep her in my prayers. I'll keep you in my prayers. I wish y'all nothing but the best, but you're not allowed to share my phone number with her. I don't want to hear from her. I have no desire to speak to her. Not because I wish her ill, but because I know where that Pandora's box can lead. And again, I have to protect myself and my energy and my goals and what I'm trying to do, and continue to be who I think I am and who I feel I am and who I aspire to be, regardless of what anyone else is saying about me, regardless of whatever picture someone else tries to paint of me, regardless of someone else not wanting to accept who they are and then taking ownership and power to change it. Who do I think I am? I am love. I am sincere. I am with fault. But I am me and I am whole, flaws and all. And there's power in knowing that.